Well, God bless each of you who are Mother Akasha's family of love's eternal presence, who have come into this embodiment to fulfill your great awakening of your spiritual side of life, and thereby come to live in higher states of consciousness that are beyond the limiting duality consciousness and all its limitations that presently most of humankind live within. I, Lady Leto, greet you, and I am truly blessed to be with each of you today. As Mother Akasha mentors you into achieving higher states of consciousness, in her Tree of Life class, I greet you in the name of the one great Master Presence of life, whose presence is growing within each of you now. I, Leto, am truly honored to be in the presence and the majesty of that great light and love of the Master Presence that I clearly see is growing within each of you. May the blessings of that Master Presence that constitutes your divinity measurably increase daily in your lives from this time forth. I realize I have a short period of time to be with you. Many of you know me through Master Germain's activity and Mother Akasha's dispensation. You know that I was a master teacher in India in the previous century, and that I lived for several hundred years in my last embodiment on earth, until I was raised into my final freedom, the Ascension. A significant part of my own spiritual enlightenment came about as a result of my daily growing understanding and communication with a state of divine consciousness, of divine love that was growing in myself daily, and what I referred to back then as the inner life of an indwelling Master Presence. All of you now are acknowledging through your studies, your meditations, this inner spiritual life that is now growing in you, along with the awareness. There is a means that each of you may begin to express and release the greater good of your spiritual divinity. And I do feel it is quite appropriate for each of you to think of this Master Spiritual Presence of divine love that is unfolding in all of you as a divine Master within you. A Master, if you will, that can be likened to a Father Presence that loves you, and a Father Presence that wishes to provide for you everything you require in your life. This is what I did. If you take time to daily acknowledge the Master within you, and begin in your prayers and inner communion to first of all think of that Master Presence within you as a loving, endearing Father Presence that wishes to provide you everything, and that you are prepared now to fulfill your higher purpose. And ask that Master Presence within to guide you to this fulfillment. If your approach to this Master Presence within you has the feeling and acceptance that presence can be likened to an endearing father, that is willing to give you everything, and you surrender your will over to this Master Presence, you are truly readying for the greatest adventure of being in this world. And then I feel, if you were to address this presence within you, inwardly, as the great Master within yourself, I think this will assist each of you in holding a greater conscious awareness of the majesty and ability of that indwelling presence within yourself to begin to release into yourself and your worlds everything that you should require. With the knowledge that you have thus far attained, I say that now is the time to let that Master provide you with a sufficiency of all that you require, and with no further worry or concern, because those are human qualities that will just get in the way of the divine consciousness, the divine love of that Master Presence expressing in your life. Each of you, as you address and accept the Master Presence that is growing now within you, you are yet perhaps a few days still in which you are learning to consciously control and direct the energy of your God nature into your world of substance, form, and manifestation. But I say to you, why wait? Each of you, have you not accepted there is a divine Master Presence within you? Well, until you have gained the greater ability to consciously direct and have the mastery of thought and feeling, and understand that even though you have an atomic force field in your body and your world that is charged with many different human qualities, yet the truth, there is no place that the great Akasha love or the electronic force field of light is not. It fills the universe. So it must be here too, in your world, in your atmosphere. Is it not? It is just that the atomics of your body and of your atmosphere are so dense with human creation, yet beyond that human creation is the great Akasha love and the electronic force field. This is how angels and ascended beings come into your world. They do not yield to the atomic force fields. They abide within the Akasha love and the electronic force fields, which are equally present. Yet, it is only in the higher consciousness of divine love that you can then consciously begin to connect with that great Akasha love and the electronic force field that is everywhere. And so, it is coming that each of you, through the mastery of your own being, will learn to have such a focus and force of your own ability through the power of your attention, to focus on the light, focus on the love of the Master within, and thereby set aside the activity of any duality that may be yet acting in the atomic structure of your bodies and world. If you take the time to have a series of images, of pictures, that reveal what it is that you desire to experience, to manifest, to produce. If you have this series of images, then at any time you can teach yourself with enough focus, hold your attention upon those images, and while you do, invite the Master Presence within you to pour its divine love into those images for manifestation. Now, these years, all that is coming forth, and what Mother Akasha has in her mind and heart, will assist all of you to be able to do this with even greater measure. Now, to assist you, I offer you what worked for me in my final embodiment that gave me my freedom in the ascension. I remind you that in that embodiment, I maintained life in a youthful body for several hundreds of years. So I know what I am speaking of. I demonstrated it in my own life. And therefore, I come to encourage you that in your own prayers, in your own inner dialogue, if you will intensify an inner dialogue with this Master Presence within you, I do feel that for a while, for you to address this growing inner spiritual life as the great Master within you. This will provide a sense, a feeling, that you are addressing that which is all majestic, and that you are accepting there is this majestic power and presence that is growing within yourself now due to your spiritual growth, and that this presence will fulfill naturally the images that you form within your mind and their corresponding feelings. So I encourage you to do a couple of things here, and that is take the time to create clear images in your mind of what you wish to create, to manifest, to experience. And then as you commune inwardly with the great Master, with great indwelling presence, you can begin to commune in the following way. Great Master in me, project your energy of divine love into these images that I am holding in my mind and into their corresponding feelings in my feeling side of life. For these are what I would like to experience and have manifest in my reality. I ask you, Great Master, I am turning to you. I lean not on the outer world now. I am leaning to you, and I ask you to project your presence of divine love into all the energy of my world. When you do this, precious hearts, the great electronic force that is everywhere throughout the cosmos, and including your atmosphere, will begin to cooperate with this creative imagining, because the force being projected behind it is the force, the divine love, that is sent forth by the great Master Presence within. Now do understand that the mighty electronic force that is everywhere throughout the cosmos does not respond at all to the duality consciousness of human beings. It responds only to the consciousness of divine love. Your spiritual nature, the individualization of Mother, Father, God, is the master presence of divine love that is growing within each of you now. And because of this, it is time, I say, that you realize that if you can hold the image in your mind of what it is that you wish to experience or manifest, and invite the divine consciousness, the divine love of the master presence within you to project its force into that image and feeling you are holding. And when you initiate this process with the master presence within you first, you are going to experience great pleasant changes in your life. Do you realize something, dear sons and daughters of light? Divine love is the action of love, wisdom, and power. Divine love is the action of love, wisdom, and power. Divine love is not in complete fulfillment until it is the action of love and wisdom and power projected into a world of substance, form, and manifestation. Now, ultimately, when you yourself have entirely become the individualization of divine consciousness, you will do this yourselves. But you are not there yet. You are an instrument, and you are growing divine love, divine consciousness within you. Yet this inner life is great enough now. It ought to be seen as a great master presence within you, and that great master presence ought to be invited to project its presence of divine love into all the images that you are forming, so that they can go forth into the great electronic force field of your world and produce the image and the feeling that you know that you are holding. You can do this, can't you? Sure you can. You can hold an image, and you can even go to lovely magazines and cut out images and pictures that represent what you wish to bring forth in your life, so that it is easier to focus and concentrate upon them. And if you hold these images long enough, for a couple of minutes, you will then get the feeling of those images. In the days ahead, precious hearts, you who are awakening, you will teach yourselves the power of projecting the divine energy of your growing spiritual presence, so that all images and feelings that you focus upon receives that growing divine consciousness and then is projected out into the electronic force field that cooperates and becomes the things you wish to manifest and produce in your life. Do understand that you cannot access the electronic force field just by holding images in your mind. No, no, no. You must become an instrument. It starts there. An instrument, a channel in which the divine consciousness, through your studies, your meditations, becomes an inner life that is growing within you until it is substantial, and you can refer to it as the great master within. then its energy of divine love, as it pours into all your images and feelings, goes directly, bypasses the atomic nature of your third dimensional atmosphere and accesses the electronic force field that is throughout the cosmos. Now, these things are coming for all of you. Yet to have success in this, it is for each of you to try to address this mighty presence that is within you daily. And it would be good for all of you to address this presence as the great master in you. This will keep the truth conscious in your mind. It will keep this truth conscious in your daily memories, and it will remain within your feelings that there is this majestic presence in you that is growing now. Now, beloved hearts, there is plenty of time in the future to celebrate the incoming restoration and alignment and resurrection of all aspects of your most beauteous spiritual God self, that in truth each of you are. There is plenty of time in the future to celebrate living in higher states of consciousness. Yet, in this time, if each of you can recognize this master presence within as the great master and begin calling upon the great master to project its presence of divine love and do for you what in the outer self seem not able to do yet. And that is the absolute projection of divine love, divine consciousness into a thought, feeling form that then is projected into the great electronic force field so that the electrons can become receptacle of that image and produce that image in substance and form. Do you understand what is being asked of you? It will bring forth a sense of greater endearment of the master presence within your own self as you acknowledge. Perhaps you could try this kind of an inner communing with the master within. As an example, great master in me. Myself, I am not yet quite certain about some things, but you within me, thou art my great Father presence in me. Thou art all-knowing, and you are not a withholding master. And I call upon you to prepare me now, to set forth in this ever-expanding voyage, new adventures that is called the resurrection. And in this new journey, I know, Holy Master, in me, that you seek to endow me with everything that I require. And I understand that I must be willing to receive thy great blessings in my life. And so I say to you, great Master in me, thy will be done. There is no limitation to you. There is only limitation in this outer self. And as, in days ahead, as I fine-tune and understand my outer self a little better, as I am going through this wonderful process of awakening, and as I am embarking on a journey that will give me a much greater awareness and understanding of who I am, so that I can express the I am that I am into living enjoyment in my daily life? Well, great Master in me, I am ready to complete this journey of understanding, of comprehension, of resurrection, comprehending the great majesty of life, the natural laws of the universe, including the natural laws of manifestation, and all that I, as a living, thinking flame of God, have come into embodiment at this time to realize and to demonstrate in my life. Great Master within, I do realize I have been placed on the earth with purpose, and now this great journey that is ahead of me is really about realizing all the power and all the knowingness and all the wonderful resources that I have as an individualized flame of Mother, Father, God. And I truly embrace the fulfillment of this journey of resurrection. I know, in truth, that I am not a limited being. However, I am awakening just now to the glory of all that I am. But you, great Master within me, are a fully awakened being, and I bow before thy great majesty and grace. And I am just going to love for a while, knowing that you come with me on this journey, that you are growing within me, and I will just love calling upon you, great Master, to project your presence of divine love into the electronic force everywhere I abide in this world. And I do trust that it is there, and I do trust that every image and feeling that I place my attention upon will become a reality, and can become a reality of duality in the atomic field, or a reality of perfection in the electronic force field. Great Master within, I have decided that for a while I am going to become more childlike in the outer expression of my life. And I am going to give myself a gift. For a long time, Master, I have placed a great responsibility upon my outer self, in believing that the aged soul within me should be out in the world as a very learned master, accountable, responsible, knowing all things and knowing how to do all things. Well, maybe this approach has been difficult on me, perhaps making myself try to bear this responsibility. I have heard that I have been in this world many times, and I think that maybe I have borne too great a responsibility in seeking to bring forth the aged soul that I am. I am a very old soul, and I do believe that I bear a great responsibility with this old soul. So, great Master in me, I seek to be more playful in this world, in this great journey, and I seek to reserve the ancient and old soul within me, as that Master in me that knows all things already and will take care of me in all ways. I do know, mighty Master, that you will come forth and give me brilliant understandings and happy, happy moments of all that I am. And I feel it is a better thing now to be much more playful and harmless in my life. And although there is a time coming that I will rise into the majesty of my spirituality, I now look to you, great Master within, in all thy majesty, to take care of me in all the ways that you have planned. Great Master within, I have grasped that you have given me a mind, and you have given me a feeling side of life. I have certainly seen many things in this world, and I am certainly capable of using my mind and communicating with others. And I am certainly capable, great Master, of feeling. I have felt many things in this world. I have felt horrible things, and I have felt wonderful things. So I do know that I am capable of feeling. And great Master, I have seen things in my mind that I wish I could just forget. And I've also found I can use my mind to speak to others, to communicate. Yet there is one thing I can do, Holy Master, in me. And all that has been in the use of my mind, my feelings of the past, there is one thing I can do, great Master, in me. I can teach myself to hold a perfect image and the feeling of what I really desire in this world. And then I am going to place the responsibility back on your shoulders, great Master, in me. I will see you and know you and accept you. I will come and visit you, and I will think of you as an endearing Father presence that has always loved me and raised me and given me an everlasting endowment. And I am ready not to live separate and apart from thee. I am ready to go forth out into the world with that endowment, knowing there is no lack of anything, no lack of anything. Great Master, in me, you are my sufficiency restored. In this endowment of life, great Master, you have given me my eternal health. You have given me eternal life. You have given me eternal intelligence, a heart to love. You have given me eternal abundance of all good things. And I take this great journey that is truly one of awakening. And I will see the journey ahead of me as perhaps being on this earth for the first time in an absolutely new way. Deep breath. And so, beloved hearts, as you're having this conversation, something like this, with the great Master within you, it is not an untruth that each of you are on the earth in this journey, in a whole new way at this time. And if you will just try this, I think you will find some absolutely magical moments in which you will have a taste of ease and grace, in which the simplicity of your innocence, being childlike, is not really running around so much as a little child. It is more so, dear hearts, about claiming your innocence and remembering your innocence and loving to be in your innocence and playfulness. And in that innocence, it is easy. It is easy to know what hurts. And it is easier to give those hurts over to the Master within, the endearing, loving Father. And when you know your innocence, you love your innocence, and you like to be your innocence, which is really what I mean by going forth in your journey, more childlike, and you place the greater responsibility for a while on the great Master within. What I'm really asking you to do, precious hearts, is to claim your innocence again. Live your innocence. Be your innocence. For it is in this place that you would not be so harmful to yourselves, that you will find in this innocence that which allows things to just roll off your shoulders, so to speak, and find that you will be able to experience this thing that your Mother Akasha speaks of as ease and grace, that is coming for all of you, and that it really is actually quite easy to manifest, to experience. It really is. Oh, dear hearts, it is just so easy. It is one of the minor things to do. And I see what Mother Akasha has in her heart, to try to take some of the burdens that make you believe everything is so difficult, and it really isn't. Your life calls to you to live a life of ease and grace. Yet that too must be a choice, and a choice that is reflected in how you use your mind and your feeling side of life. And so, how can I help you get there? How can I, Leto, assist you in getting there? I hope you will forgive me as I say that Mother Akasha is right. You are the most fortunate awakening people in the world. And so if you can think of just being in your innocence, and think of all the kind of moments that takes you out of your innocence, it's those moments that harden everything and create awful, difficult experiences. And so, just claim your innocence. And don't be so serious about the things in your world. You understand this Master Presence that I speak of. It is the divine love you are connecting to in your meditations. And I am just asking you to recognize that you really are on a new journey now, and you are on a new adventure. Well, you know, sometimes those who have a more carefree attitude in life. Have you not seen, dear hearts, some people who just seem to get through life and their attitude seems to be rather carefree? And my goodness, I know you have. I know you've met people that are so carefree and somehow they get pretty looked after. It's amazing how they're looked after. And here you are making all this effort, so serious, so serious, so serious. Don't be so serious. Oh, be serious, certainly, when you are addressing the great master within, if you so choose. And for a while, address that great master within with a feeling that it is a loving Father that loves you so much. And he really has readied you. He really has. He's loved you and cared for you, and he's prepared you for this journey of awakening, of resurrection. Well, I want you to trust that that great master within you, that can be seen as a loving Father, a guide, a mentor, that he has really readied you for this world. He really has. And he's sending you out in the world in a wonderful adventure now. And he wants you to look forward to this adventure. And he wants you to know that everything is covered. He's got your back. Everything is taken care of, and he's actually coming with you on this journey. But he'll stay in the background, so to speak. He'll stay in the background because this journey is a very important journey, but not so serious. It's simply a journey that for a long time the Father presence has been an unknown presence. Always been there, waiting for your acknowledgement and acceptance. So trust those words. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. Your friend Jesus came into your octave and said this. He was really speaking of the Master that is inside you. Life does not desire for you to always work, precious hearts. Life desires you to have fun, and life wants you to have everything. Life desires you to have everything left over after you've had lots of fun doing everything and using everything. Can you imagine that? So I come. I hope you do not mind me. You know, I have chosen to retain my youthfulness in the Ascended Master realms, appearing as a 17-year-old, even as an Ascended Master lady today. And yet I assure you that if I must focus upon my God nature, the Master within me is capable of moving mountains, if required. So what is Leto saying to you now? And you can just call me Leto. You don't have to call me Lady Leto. What is it that Leto is asking you to do? Well, to realize that sometimes the over-seriousness of looking at everything in your life and the way you approach life so burdens your energy and your energy fields. Have you ever had a moment where you have been out in God's sunshine, and in a moment you've seen the dancing particles of light, the fiery, silvery dancing particles of light? Have you seen this? Sure you have. And they're dancing everywhere. They are in such constant play. You see, dear hearts, those are electrons, those dancing particles of light. And they are everywhere in your sunshine, yet they are everywhere in your indigo nights as well. And so, when your thoughts and feelings are strong enough, and they are projected into those dancing particles through the power of divine love, which then coagulate around your thought form and mold into the form and bring you that manifestation in your life. But so often, you burden the energy from being released to you and out from you into your world by the constant responsibilities you have placed on yourself and the too serious approach to the things in your life. Well, time to welcome the great Master within. There are some unusual days coming for each of you. Oftentimes I see that Mother Akasha and Father Asun lay out knowledge, and within that knowledge they provide some hints. Well, Akasha and the great Master Germain has said to you many times that the great I Am God Presence is the greatest physician. And yet you seem to have some obnoxious things going on in your bodies that make your body do something else than what you want them to do or what they were intended to do in being God's perfect health. So it is your degree of your ability to accept, and I think today, if you will accept the great Master that is within you, and know this great Master comes with you into everything that you do, and you just have fun addressing this Holy Master in yourself to keep projecting the presence of divine love, divine consciousness into your world, and to so electrify the electrons in your world so that they have the opportunity to become everything that you desire in your life. But it's going to require you to have a little bit more playful attitude and reclaiming your innocent nature, if you will. Do you understand? Some people ask me, well, how can I claim my innocence when there's terrible things that have happened to me? Well, I say to you, everyone in the inner sanctum of your heart, there is a place that nothing can enter. There is only one presence that can enter this inner sanctum in your heart, and it is you. Nothing in the world, nothing of duality can enter this inner sanctum. And it is your inner sanctum of divine innocence. It has never been touched by anything in the world. And it is up to you, not someone else, to connect with that inner sanctum of your own divine innocence. And if you will do so, you just will let go of this tendency of everything being so serious. I ask you to think about this. Life is not so serious in the context in which the word is used. Yes, life is majestic. You don't have to hold back from that knowing. You're going to have to just drench yourselves now in innocence and playfulness. And you're just going to have to know that everything is going to be okay. And you just love to address that great Master that is inside you and call that Master inside. What is it that you need? Come to the Master. Master, holy presence in me, in all thy majesty, I love to come before you. For what the Master has within you is everything you could require in the outer world. But don't come with heaviness. Don't come with heaviness to the Master within you. Don't say something stupid, such as, Master, I know that I don't deserve. That's heavy. That's serious. Get real. Of course you do. You're awake enough to know that you deserve. Everyone makes mistakes. Get past it. Because you do deserve. And you are just so much loved And we just love you. We love all of you. And you've got to love yourselves, and you've got to love that Master within you, and just come to that Master and be so real and so accepting of its majesty, and say, Master, this is what I am dealing with in my life right now, and I ask for your solution. I ask for your direction, for your guidance. And then go have fun and play. And just know the Master will bring forth the solution, the correction in your life. Now, what the Master is going to do is project the presence of divine love. And if you will just cooperate with that Master, because the Master inside you is going to say, well, now you've got to hold the picture in your mind. You've got to have the feeling of what you desire, and I'll do the rest. But you have to decide. I can't decide for you. You decide. And you decide, you let imagery be the means and feelings that the great Master within knows with certainty what it is that you wish to bring forth in your life. There are many ways and many more ways that you will be working with the great Master presence in days ahead. Mother Akasha and myself will always be ready for those next phases, those next layers in your spiritual awakening. The blessings and the riches of the great Master inside each of you, may they unfold now in your lives with no hesitation, no limitation, right now. I am Leto. I remain in your service. Namaste, namaste, namaste.